products that we are providing to these consumers, it's basically giving an advantage to the consumers rather than the other way, and they are able to take certain decisions based upon these wearable devices that's provided. That's the big change that we are seeing with it. And now adding digital transformation to it, it's going to a phone. I mean, tell me how many people don't have a phone today. So having a phone and able to see your blood glucose measurements, and Reyes touched upon the concept of actionable insights. So now what's happening is with these readings, people are able to do actionable insights and make certain decisions in a much more intelligent manner. So those are some of the things we are seeing from a consumerization of a health device perspective.
We do not yet multi-channel engagement. In reality, we do what I call multi-silo engagement. We do know that we believe each channel is unique. The problem is, as an ACP, you live an experience across channels. So what are the channels truly we need to focus on? What are the channels that are more trusted? For our ACP, to me, the secret sauce would be where our customer they prefer and where to be in and where they want to be engaged.
A lot of the companies right now have a lot of test and learn. And even in Janssen and J&J, we are now addressing the question, how do we scale and how do we make sure that we move from solutions to platforms and ecosystems? And if you hear all the external environment, right? Being able to connect through the different ecosystems, integrate is going to be the key to scale and drive both digital and business transformation. And I think the other way is strategic partnerships. So I think there's an acknowledgement that no person is no longer an island. You can't, even at the scale of J&J, we are not able to do so alone. And you've seen that, right? I mean, you've seen it right now in many situations where there's strategic partnerships to bring both the data, the digital capability, and also the business models and the know-hows together so that we can scale. It is okay for business people to be in business, to go into technology to do business, and we have to stop to focus less on roles and titles, but more on jobs to be done and form teams of teams and cross-pollinate. And I think that will be the way to scale both the business and digital transformation, and the business has an equally important role to get invested in the digital transformation.
The regulators here and the regulatory compliance is something that is a very dominant theme in internal discussions. But when you actually talk to the regulators, when you talk to the FDA or to the EMA, the regulators are not the obstacle. They are not the issue. They are looking to us. They said, don't wait for us to come up with regulations. You have to forge forward. You have to come up with solutions, and we will accompany you along the way. And if the solution is sensible and if the integrity of the data can be demonstrated, then we are all for it.
We had constantly invested on our technical currency. So whether that's infrastructure, whether that's our legacy applications, there was always, whether it's Joyce or myself, any other CIO, as much as we've always been asked by our business partners to help with this digital transformation and digital agility, we always have to have one eye of ours on foundational aspects. And I'll tell you one thing, and I'm pretty sure Joyce is doing the same thing on her end, is cybersecurity posture. So when you have 100,000 people now all connecting through WebEx and Zoom, so it's very important that we continue to maintain, our customers, abiding to all the data privacy laws, whether it's J&J or Abbott, we make sure we are adhering to the data privacy consent that our customers have given us. So we have a responsibility, we have an accountability to use that data very responsibly and also to protect it responsibly.
our response was in two folds. One is what I call respond, which was the COVID-19. And so similar to what you're saying is how we are going now support our customer, our physician, if we need to work remotely, like sample management. We had in many countries in the world, people even challenged to do e-calls with their doctors, right? So we were able to capitalize in past investments, right? And now there was a huge adoption of those. So even our content, we had some markets where we didn't have even digitized content. So that was like the biggest acceleration was around to catch up on digital foundational basic components that we never had. Maybe we never accelerated because the old model was more a face-to-face model. And that model now is becoming probably most obsolete. So that was one. And then the second wave came along, and just to respond to your question, Andreas, around the transform, what I call the transform. This is where we had the various, let's say, geographic, let me tell you, POCs. We decided to scale some as a bet because we had already some proof that some models were working, and that is where we got, I would say, incremental budget to focus on the transformation.